I was thinking I should a recording about the last episode about Israel, but it doesn't work that way. I can't do anything about it. We will see if I'm going to recording about Israel, or is it done? I don't know. It's those that is here in my home that tell me what to do. Not in that way that they tell me recording this, but they sending. They talking telepathy. So they are sending things to my brain. And now suddenly, yesterday, it was late, so I was tired and want to go to sleep. So I couldn't do it, but I was thinking I do it today, recording. Because yesterday it was... they told me this, that I should search if there is any places where they are talking about aliens and the future, about what the aliens or God, I don't know, who was talking to me in year 2000. And he told me about my future. I didn't see him, so I couldn't tell if it was God, because God can't you see. So that was one point, that it was God. But then I have questioned it many times. If I could see God, how do he look like? And those spirits that is coming here and in my home, when they talking to me, they place wordly their body they had when they live here on earth, that how they place it on them, so I see it, but I don't see if it should be an alien that look like there is in a drawing and photos of them. If they should standing here and look like that have been a lie, because they are standing here on earth. So they present themselves like an earthly presence, and not what they look like in heaven, in another planet. They don't show up like that. They show up how they look like when they live here on earth. So that's, they can look in reality, in how they look where they are when they are not here. Then they can look like those aliens. I don't know if when they place on themselves clothes, the body of a person that have lived here on earth. And so I ask. I don't understand why I ask, but I understand today that they must have wanted me to ask God, that master that was talking to me. They wanted me to ask what is aliens, what is UFO. So I asked this one that I couldn't see, but he was talking to me. And I asked him, what is that with alien and UFO? What is it about? I asked him in year 2000. And he answered me and said that, and he was not, the sound, the voice doesn't look like he have no emotion about it. He only answered me, and he say that it is the people of the future, he said to me, and I understood. I should not ask him more than that, and accept his answer. That I felt. So I didn't do like I normally do. Most likely I do it all the time, that I ask more questions on the same subject, because I wanted to know it in details. But I didn't do that in that time, in year 2000. And now they have told me that they are going to teach me about the future. And I don't know the future, but they are going to teach me about the future. And it's a spirit already here, touched me very much. So I hope I get help here. And the future, it's where they live in now, today. That's they have, because there is no time for them. It's a time when they're coming close to our planet, but for them is it not time. And so the future is what it is today for them, if they are not being here on this planet for forever like that. I have met those kind of aliens that look like human and act like human, but they're talking very strange to me, that no one should talk to me as I is a stranger for them, and they don't, and they talk to me like they know me, and I know they know me. Today I know that. It's my relatives the whole time. And so I look at it on the internet, and I saw this. I sit and listen a little on an interview with Mike Masters, and I think it's named that. I have to look at it. Yeah, it's Mike Masters is his name, and he research about aliens, UFO, and how serious it can be, but he don't understand everything, and he don't understand like I do, because aliens, they have talked to me. It's those aliens is like a unknown presence. It's not a special people. It is that we don't understand them. So it's called aliens. I have been aliens in United States when I lived there. I had this card there it says alien, that I was not really registered in United States. I didn't live in the United States, but I live in United States, but I was not American citizen. And they are not today earthly citizen. They are alien. And he have coming a little closer to the answers, this man, and I pick up some of what he say, because I have not thinking about that, how he present it. And it is this about, he say that if we in archaeology, we are digging down for 1,000 years, digging down what and research what they have done for 2,000 years ago, what they eat and how how their mouth look like, if they have much teeth, and how their head, skull look like, and this all things we want to know, because we are missing the fact of how they really look like. When I was a teenager, they were talking about in the future we will not have 5 fingers on each hand, because we don't use the little finger so much, so it's going to grow back, but it's many thousand years. But we have that thought about it, so through the years the body have changed, and so he got me to think about it, that the aliens are here because they want to know more about the past, and he say that it's our relatives that is coming back. And I have talked about that in my podcast earlier, how I see it. And it was, I tell you once again, it was a night, and I wake up and I couldn't sleep, and I didn't know what it was that was. It was for many years ago, when I didn't know so much about my relatives and heaven and those things. I didn't know, so I turned on the television, and that was the first program I come to. That was when I started up the television. It come immediately to me, my eyes, and it was about the future, and it was about aliens, not this that people are talking about, like fairy tales many times. It was about the research into the universe, where they are waiting to hear signals from the universe, and they find some sounds, but they couldn't locate it. But it was a sound that is here on Earth, so it come from from the universe. But it was only for some seconds, and they didn't know what it was. But in the same program, they say the truth. That was what the people that was around me, that was with me, of what we call aliens, but relatives, wanted me to watch, because in that program they say about the sound, and they say the sounds from very far away in our past will one day come back to Earth. It's gonna one time it's gonna bunch on from a planet or something that is travel around in the universe, that is in the universe. They're gonna bunch on it, and the sound will come back, they say. And that was the first thinking about that they will come back one day, but not in the original form. It's have going time, and they have developed. And how will we develop if we should live 2,000 years? How should we look like after 2,000 years lived here on Earth? And so it's they have a change of course. They are the same spirit, but it have changed in their form and how they look like. And then they have not have any contact with this planet, but as soon as they could bounce back to our time and our planet, they wanted to see what's going on, and they want to dig down in the soil and taking people with them to could investigate, to could see if they have the same body built as they, or they have developed through the years, through generations, another form like that. So it's no wondering. I am not thinking like that how they take, or say animals, for example, they have taken because they want to see from where they come from. And those that I have met and talked to, this is people that want only, they spy here on Earth, but also they can have an agenda to put interfere into what we are doing here on Earth. And it can be both bad and good things. I wish it was only good things they interfere into. But as it looked like today, it's very strange. But I was talking to my daughter yesterday about this, because I wanted to hear her opinion about this with balloons, and she talked, and I understood that she talked like most people are thinking about like a war going on out of space, that is, but she was thinking it was like business that could sell their spaceship, their satellites, to be the best one and earn much money on it. So she was thinking in that way. And for me was it that it's an agenda going on that we don't know. We that live, that ordinary people, that we don't know. And there is agenda because they feel the threat going on. Not for, of course, both on this planet, but also from the universe. They have had many contacts through the years, but they have not told us, of course. As I say in the last episode, that people get panic and can do very stupid things. And so they don't want the newspaper to talk. And it had been quite... no one is talking about what have happened with those so-called balloons. And it's only some places I have seen the question, what will be when the American military is shooting down UFO spaceship? What will happen? Of course it should make them angry, but it can also be that they have thinking about that and want to test us here on this planet, to test what we will do. And in that way they also can see how we have developed our defense for around our planet. So it can be a test to find out what will they do if they see some UFO spaceship, and only not take those big, because you know that I have been up to the spaceship, and it was like it was parking on our roof, on our new built house, a big house. We have a big house, and then I look out in the window, and I felt like it is someone looking at me, and I didn't know where it come from. It was no real direction, so I look out on the street and around the house on the ground, and I didn't see anything. It was total dark. It was not, no, I say wrong, it was not total dark, it was dark blue, because I could see the spaceship and it was black, but I could see the form of the spaceship that was parking, like it was parking on our roof, and it was triangle formed. And then they took me out from the window, and I was laying in the air and look up on those, all this kind of spaceship that was up in the sky. And then they took me up and I look at a circle-formed silver color spaceship, and I was not frightened. I look around, and I was in the Air Force in that time, so I looked for if there was number or a name on it, because I thought it was an airplane that I look at, but there was no number or letters, and it was circle formed and lots of small windows on it. And I look, and I couldn't see anyone inside it. It was total dark there. And then I come back to my bedroom in our new built house. And then early in the morning, this was about 12 o'clock in the night, and then early in the morning we heard a sound of shh, 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 like that sound, and I wake up, but I was too sleepy, and I wondered what it was for a sound outside, and then I wake up my daughter's father, and I asked him if he could hear that sound outside. And he was also very sleepy. And he said, yes, go up and look what it is. Look out in the window. So I look out in the window, and I saw lots of silver color cars. That was the brain took it like that. But it was no sound of cars driving up in the forest. It was only this sh 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 sounds on it, and this was 1994, so it was no electric cars, and my daughter's father be so curious. So he come up and look in the window, and his brain also saw these gray silver color cars, and he say, I have to drive to the village. We were living outside the village. It was only 10 people in the village, 10 families, 10 houses in the village. So he say that I must check it out. It must be a very big party going on, because that sound and those cars, maybe 300, was going up there in the forest. So he and my daughter took the car, and they drive around in that village, and they come back and they say there was no car. We never saw those silver cars. It was so many, so we must have could see it, and it was the village was built like you have to come back the same way that you drive up to it. And they didn't met any of these so-called cars, but it was spaceship. And a black triangle that was parked on our roof was the mothership. So we can ask him if they could place in those circle-formed spaceship into the mothership, or if they follow her But if they have this higher technology, they maybe could do so it going smaller, those circle form. And they maybe don't had anyone inside them. It was like we have those drones today. No one is inside the drones, but we can standing on the ground and drive them, fly and let them fly in the sky. They maybe was built like that, and so there is a triangle formed, a spaceship, because I saw that, and then my daughter saw it. She was 9 years old, and her father saw it also, and we reported it for a UFO investigation. And they come and look at it and talk to us, but they didn't take it serious. They asked if we were drinking alcoholic, and they asked if we take any medicine. And I was in my education at the university for psychology, and I say that, and my daughter's father was the one that take care of the whole paper factory, paper mill, do the steam for the machines. And today he's sitting with a computer and do nothing more than create money. And so it's coming back. I have told you that time will tell, and it does, really does. And I don't know what will be if it is about Israel, if it will, I will recording it, because it seems like they don't want me to talk about the past, and they want me to talk about the future, and that's future is those that is my ancestors that is coming back, and there is some of them have been king and queens here on earth, but it's not like that in where they are today, or who they are today. It's those with titles. This is only for this planet to have these things talking about people like that. And what I was thinking about when I listened at the interview was that they are in the stone age of thinking, because they think that it's a time machine. There is a time machine, but it is not a physical thing. They have already told us in one episode that there was someone that come through of the spirits, and I think it was a woman. She said that we move with thinking. It's metaphysiology. It's not about machines that you build with hands. It's not about that. They don't understand this. It's so high developed. What they are doing is that they can look like like us. But that is only to fool us, to not could see the truth. And I have said that they often have sunglasses on because we should not see their, because if you look at their face, it looks like a normal face. But if you look in their eyes, you can tell that those eyes are dead. If they are like some sort of camera in them, or if it's only dead, that they are like robots going on, walking around here and create information. And we are in a very bad time now when they start to do those robots that look like human, and because people are not awake about it. And so I have talked about this that I have met in United States, and now is it about the future, and now it's time have told me now that year 2000, when this master that I couldn't see but only hear him, he say that alien and UFO is the people of the future. So it is what now the spirits touch me again. In this chakra things also coming touch me, and it is what he say in the first time. He say when that they are going to teach me about the future, and it's not about time. He say you have to go back to that episode. It's not far away. If you listen of today, the February 17, 2023, if you listen in this time, it's only maybe 2 episodes from now that he was coming and say this. They are going to teach me and you about the future. And the future is not the time as we see it. They have another way that they can. He's telling now is they curve the time. He's saying, so if you curve the time enough, you are coming back to the past. But you are in the future, but you're going back to the past. And the other, this woman, she said that it's only to thinking that you should be in a place, and you are. And that is it seems very far in the future for us to come to that development, that is only to think that you are going to be in another place far away. Maybe on a planet also, if you can do that. That if you do that, you are in that place. You don't need to have any vehicle. You don't need to have a spaceship. You don't need to have a car to go to that place. That's in your mindset is in your brain, and you can travel as they are travel. They are doing this talking in the telepathy, and they can do the telepathy with the whole body, so they can move. And when they talking telepathy to me in the beginning, when it started, they could have been in another planet and talked to me. And that was what I saw, this higher priest, before he come down to my room, to my home in the year 2000. He wake me up in the night, and I lay in my bed and look, and it was dark in the room, but it was a bright light in the air, and I saw this higher priest sitting like writing something in a book. It looked like, but it could be something else. It can be like today we write into a notebook like that. But it looked like he signed in things in a book. And I saw him in this bright light, and it was not his body that I saw. I didn't see the whole body. I only saw like I was looking into a pipe, and there was a bright light. So he was not in my room there when he wake me up in the night. Before he was standing in my home. So he had not really started to travel to my home when I saw him, and he was far distance. So I think that he wanted me to see this first before he come and stood in my room, that I should understand it now when I'm talking to you today, that he could do everything on this planet without to be on Earth. He don't need to be on Earth. He was far away somewhere, but I could see him. It was traversed. It was like a telepathy, a way to see him. He was, I think he went away, this spirit I had with me in my talking here. He make me talk like I did now. But that is they are very close, but they can't think. They should not think like it is here on Earth, because we are so far away from their thinking, because they are so far before us in their development. So that's where he have his failure to understand this Mike. What was his name? And Mike Masters, because he think that they need to travel with some vehicle, and they have told me that they don't need to do. They didn't. They don't need build any spaceship. They didn't need to have any gas, some fuels and they don't need to think about how long time it will be from here to another planet. They don't need to know what metallic things they need to use for to not be melted. And that's wrong thinking, because he's thinking from our direction. He should think about from their direction, where they are today and how they do things, and not go from our thinking, from our planet, tell us how we do things and how we think about things in the future. I am so old, and if you are in almost the same age, you know, in the school I still have the paper about how I see the future, and it's so very short jump. I couldn't see anything in the future when I was in the school and should write a story about the future. And it's fun to see, but how short we are in our thinking. And we have not much time here on Earth. It's you'll be happy if you can live till you are 80, like that. Then, for me, I'm 70 years old, and I see every day people in the same age as me die of cancer or other sickness, be it dementia, like Alzheimer, ALS, and these things. So for me, it seems like the time is shorter and shorter. So that's not much to develop on. And then if we should start over every time, our children have to start over and start over and start over. It takes forever to develop that we can only think about the place and we can be there. Of course, I can think about the place, like Singapore, for example. I can think about Singapore and I can go to the computer. And I have been in Singapore because some of my listeners and followers are from Singapore. And I know, and I wish I could live there. It's very beautiful. It's a little too hot for me, but if I have an air conditioner in my home, it's okay. And then I go out later on when the sun is going down a little. And it's a beautiful place. I wish I could come and visit Singapore, but that's not money I have. But in that way, like I did in Jerusalem, for example, I was only thinking about it. But I didn't have the money to travel to Jerusalem. But suddenly it come money. And I don't know who did send me money, but as I see it, it come from heaven, because they wanted me to visit Jerusalem for the fourth time and last time. I'm not going there. I prefer to go to Singapore and live there. Or there is nice places here in Sweden, and I live in a nice city. But for me, is it the temperature? It's for me it should be like 20 degrees, and it's perfect for me. 20 Celsius degrees. It's about, I think it's about 80 Fahrenheit, like that. That should be perfect. I don't like that we have so long grey weather. And I needed to do this recording in this time now, because we are waiting for a very heavy storm. It can be a hurricane in it, not the whole time, but it can be hit us with hurricanes winds, and the electricity can turn off. So I wanted to do this recording before it starts this stormy weather. So thank you for listening, and God bless you.